Hey guys, I'm doing this video to document an inconsistency issue I've discovered with the KISS version 1 flight controllers. As you can see, I have 4 builds here, and they're all running very similar setups. They're all running KISS V1 flight controllers, KISS 24-amp ESCs, XSR receivers, and Lumineer PDBs. So on my last 2 builds, I noticed I was having some desyncing issues or some glitches in the flights. So upon troubleshooting, I discovered that the voltage regulators on this guy here, on the flight controllers, weren't completely soldered to the board on the last pad there, the big one on the top. I don't know if you could see that in the video. There you go. There's my last build, and my third to last build right here has also got the same issue. And what that's doing is that's actually a ground pad which goes through the flight controller into the micro USB port on the other side. And what that's doing is that's causing it to get really hot and affect the gyro readings that's mounted directly on the other side of the flight controller. Which is what I believe is causing my desync issues, because it only happens on the flight controllers that's missing the solder on the voltage regulators, which is what you see here and on this quad here. These are my first 2 builds, which actually fly really well, that have the solder on the larger third pad there for the voltage regulator. Don't know if you could see that really well. I'll post pictures up as well so you could see a better image of them. But yeah, these actually fly really well, and they don't have the desyncing issues because they're soldered all the way and the voltage regulators aren't getting hot and overheating and affecting the gyro. So what I got set up is I'm going to run a little test. I got a little temperature gun here and a 4S battery. We're just going to plug it in, run a little 2-minute test with flight controllers, and we'll see how hot they get in 2 minutes. So we'll start with the first build, which is build number 1, which is this guy right here. And as you can see, I already got them all pretty much set up. And okay, so for this test, I'll be using this 1500 Lumineer 4S battery. And just to show you that it's fully charged, I have a little LiPo checker here for you. Oops, 4 cell, all 16.7, cell 1 415, number 2 418, 3 418. and 4 419. So yeah, it's fully charged. And so for this test, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it in and hit start on my timer as soon as I can. There might be a little bit of a delay, but we're going to run the test for 2 minutes, and I'm going to record the temperature during the whole time it's heating up, and you'll be able to see the laser beams on the tape there, which is going to help me line up for the voltage regulator, which is where it's going to measure the temperature. And you should be able to see the temperature on the gun as well as it's heating up, and the time as the test is being performed. So let's go ahead and get plugged in and run our first test. This is my first quad, by the way, with no oscillating issues. I don't expect it to get too hot. But as you can see, we were starting in the 70s. We're at about 15 seconds in, and we're at 75. We'll go for 2 minutes. "30 seconds, we're at 77. Don't know if you can see that too well. "45 seconds, we're at 80. So not too hot, staying really cool. Alright, 1 minute, we're at 82.5. "1 minute, 15 seconds, we're at 83.5. Okay, 1 minute 30 seconds, we're at 85. Alright, 1 minute 45 seconds, we're at 86.9. And coming up on 2 minutes here, we're going to be under 90. Looks like right there, 88.1. Don't know if you could see that very well, but that was our final temperature after a 2-minute test on one of my first flight controllers, which has the solder on all pads of the voltage regulator. So it's not getting hot, and it flies really well too. I expect the same results from my second test, which is my next quad. So let's do that now and get set up. Okay, so that was my first test, and now we're moving on to, or my first build, so now we're moving on to my second build, which also flies really well, and I believe that's because it has the solder on all 3 pads of the voltage regulator there. I don't know if you can see it, so it's not causing it to get hot. So let's go ahead and get this test started. I don't expect it to get any hotter, and so, just to show you, our starting temperature is not warm or anything. It looks like 70 degrees. So let's go ahead and get plugged in and hit start. Alright, we're going for 2 minutes. And wind up for you guys. Alright, 15 seconds, we're at 73. And 30 seconds, we're at 76. If you guys can see it very well. 45 seconds, we're at 78, 79. One minute, we're at 80, just at 81. And 1 minute 15 seconds, we're at 83. One minute 30 seconds, we're at 85. Yeah, a lot like our first one. And 1 minute 45 seconds, we're at 86. And 2 minutes, we're at 87 flat. So, pretty good. This quad also flies really well. I didn't expect it to get really hot. And so yeah, that was my first and second build, the 2 quads that fly the cleanest. So let's get set up and we'll do my third build, and my fourth build, we'll test those, and those are the 2 that have the desyncing issues. Okay, so I got my third build with us here, and as you can see, it is missing solder on one of the pads for the voltage regulator. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but I'll post a picture up too during this video somewhere so you guys can see the difference in what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and get this thing set up for testing, and we'll do a 2-minute test just like the others. And I do expect it to get a little bit hotter, actually quite a bit hotter. But let's see, okay, we're not even like 10 seconds in and we're at 83. "15 seconds, it was at like 91. Yeah, wow, we're already in the hundreds. This is way hotter. 30 seconds and we're at 105. Now, mind you, these are all built the exact same. The only difference is minor, like just maybe the motors or the receiver. And that's it. Same flight controllers, PDB, and ESCs. 45 seconds in, we're at 117 degrees. I also noticed too, when picking up the quads after flying this one, and my last build, which is the next test we're going to do, the USB micro port, the shell on it. Oh, there we are at 1 minute and it was 125. The micro USB port shell on the side of the ESC there was really hot to touch. 1 minute 15 seconds, we're at 131 degrees. And I checked these quads for shorts too, everything was okay. No positive, negative shorts, no shorts to ground, nothing grounded to the frame, or shorted to the frame. So there's 1 minute 30 seconds, we're at 135 degrees Fahrenheit. God, we're going to get probably up to 150. Gosh, 140. Alright, 1 minute 45 seconds, we're at 141. Wow, this thing's getting really hot. Alright, 2 minutes in, we're at 144. Let's go for 2 minutes 15 seconds. We'll see what that does, because we're still connected and running. Okay, 2 minutes and 15 seconds. We're at 147 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to unplug that real quick. If I can get it. Stop. Show you guys temp again. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's a massive difference. What were the other ones in like the 80s? And this one maxed out at like 147. Wow. So I'm going to go grab the next quad. I do expect it to be around the same results. So let's get set up for that. Okay, so here we have my latest build, which is also missing solder on the voltage regulator. So you can see on the top there. And I built it just like all my other ones in the past, and right after I built it, I expected it to fly really well, and it had the desyncing issues, just like my third build right here, which we just tested. And so let's get this thing set up for a test, and we'll see how it does. Start. Okay. I think we're lined up pretty good. I still think it's going to get pretty hot, just like our last one. 15 seconds and we're at 91. Yeah. Okay, 30 seconds, we're at 105. Wow. Mind you, I tested these for shorts and everything, and I couldn't find anything. 45 seconds and 115. Yeah, I even swapped out each ESC, redid the firmwares, redid the flight controller firmwares on these. Even did the receivers, thinking it was a receiver issue. Nothing solved the desync issues. Okay, 1 minute, we're at 122. Yeah, nothing solved the issues on this quads, and so that was when I looked a little further into the ESC, or the flight controller, and I found that there was the inconsistency with the voltage regulators. 1 minute, 15 seconds, we're at 130 degrees. Okay, 1 minute, 30 seconds, we're at 134 degrees. One minute 45 seconds, we're at 138 degrees. And 2 minutes, we're at 142 degrees. Now let's go another 15 seconds just because we can. So this will be 2 minutes and 15 seconds. we will be at, bam, 145, right on the dot. So I'm going to unplug that. The flight controller is already starting to smell hot. And mind you, it's really cold in here right now. It's in my living room, and it's almost the middle of the night. And like the wall temperature right now is like 67 degrees, you know, just for some random stuff, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, you can imagine how that would get even hotter on a hot day is my point. So thank you for watching the video, and I hope this was helpful. And if you have this issue, I highly recommend, if you have the desyncing issues or the glitching issues, and you don't know what it is, and you've tried swapping components and you still don't know what it is, I'd just recommend looking at your voltage regulator, making sure it's soldered on all 3 pads, and it's not missing solder on that one like I have right here, and that that isn't affecting your and that it isn't going to affect your gyro readings and accelerometer readings, because your gyro is mounted on the flight controller directly on the other side of that voltage regulator. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope the test was useful and helpful for anybody who wanted to review it.